New day, new lecture, new marks. And this one is on amendment, guys. You know how important amendment are. Sometimes the entire paper is dedicated only and only towards amendments. Today we're discussing two such amendments which are important from both CA inter and CA final level. So guys, residential status, two amendments are what we're discussing. Welcome to SMAT and welcome to SMAT Quickies. SMAT is an academy where we teach tax, ideal direct, indirect, and international tax at both CA inter as well as CA final level. My specialty is I break it down into a very, very simple language. Also, there are loads of examples. In fact, the entire CA inter as well as CA final direct tax is based on the life of a surgeon. Also, the entire indirect tax also goes through the same story pattern. If you've seen my videos, you know that SMAT quickies are really short videos. They're like a trailer of what is there in the lecture. So like a trailer to the movie. So they tell you how we simplify a complex topic and make it very easy for you all to understand. My intention, guys, is to make you understand it, by heart it, revise it, and re-revise it so you guys can ace your CA exams. Residential status, two amendments. Here we go. In a couple of minutes, you'll be through with this. First up, let's just understand what a couple of basic things you should understand before we start doing this. One is that on the timeline scale, I'll just put it in the middle. On the scale, just 1 second. Yes. So there are three kinds of persons you could be. You could be a resident and ordinary resident. And I feel that's a very, very bad state to be in. Don't get me wrong. I'm very, very country loving, but resident and ordinary resident basically means that your entire global income will be taxed in India. On the other hand, you could be a non-resident, whereby you'll be very happy because only and only your India centric income. We have a shortcut in this. Whoever's been my student, guys, you know, DEAR income. Only your DEAR income, that is income which has some connection to India, will be taxable in India. Otherwise, we won't bother you. And there is one more category, guys, RNOR, resident, but not ordinary resident. It also comes under the category of resident only. So they both are residents, but there's a huge difference between ROR and RNOR. In fact, RNOR, although it comes under the umbrella of residence, it is very, very close to a non-resident. The only difference between the two is if you have a foreign business which is controlled from India. I repeat, if you have a foreign business, let's say you have a hotel in London which you're controlling from India, for a non-resident that is not taxable, but for an RNOR that will be taxable. That's the only difference. Any foreign business or profession located outside India, if it's controlled from India, for a non-resident it will not be taxable, but for an RNOR it will be taxable. That's the only difference between the two, guys. Now that we understand ROR, RNOR, and NR, and now that we understand that this guy is the most taxed, he's the most taxed, and that's why the most unhappy. Non-resident is the least taxed, and of course, RNOR is very, very similar to a non-resident. Now, if you know a few basic conditions of residential status, I'm not discussing entire residential status, I'm only discussing the amendments. So if you know the two basic conditions, you should know that the second basic condition does not apply to an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin who's visiting India. Let's first quickly see what is an Indian citizen. An Indian citizen, in a very, very rough manner, is your passport. If your passport is blue in color, you're an Indian citizen with the Indian emblem also. And a person of Indian origin, Indian citizen, of course, is very simple. The exam will tell you whether it's a citizen or not of India. Person of Indian origin is someone who is either parents, grandparents, or great grandparents, or born in India, even undivided India. Those are persons of Indian origin. And when they visit India, the second basic condition does not apply to them. So what they would do, a lot of Indian citizens and persons of Indian origin were actually trying to abuse this rule. They were coming to India. They were staying in India for about just under 182 days. They would come to India and they would stay just under 182 days. And because they would stay just under 182 days, they would not be subject to a resident. Let's take an example, guys. Let's say Siddharth Malia, who's Vijay Malia's son, let's say he comes to India and he stays for 178 days. He has a lot of foreign business which he was controlling from India while he was staying for 178 days. Now, because he's an individual, you'll first go to the basic condition 1, that is stay in India greater than or equal to 182 days. And you'll say no. And when you try to go to basic condition 2, so that means guys, first basic condition is not met. And when you try to go to basic condition 2, you will stop yourself because Siddharth Malia is a person of Indian origin who is visiting India. So he will not be subject to basic condition 2. So he basically becomes a non-resident. And now that he's a non-resident, that income, that business or that profession which is abroad, which is being controlled from India, it is not taxable in his hands. Roughly saying, guys, this rule was abused by a lot of people, and hence the government made an amendment in the Finance Act 2020. And here's the first amendment to tackle such people like Siddharth Malya. Guys, they made the first amendment. I'm calling this amendment number 1. And they said, if you're an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin, that means if you're someone like Siddharth Malya, who's a person of Indian origin, or if you're an Indian citizen and you're visiting India, but your Indian income, guys, that's the only difference here. And if your Indian income is greater than 15 lakhs, that means your Indian income, not foreign income, is more than 15 lakhs. That means, guys, in layman terms, you're rich. Then the second basic condition 2 will apply to you. Basic condition number 2 will apply to you, but the only thing in basic condition 2, what is basic condition 2? Stay in India in this year is greater than or equal to 60 days, and stay in India in before this 4 years before this year is greater than or equal to 365 days. In that case, the basic condition 2 will apply to you. Only thing that 60 days will be replaced by 120 days. So basic condition 2 will apply with 120 days. So let's take Siddharth Malya and let's take him to the two basic conditions now after the Finance Amendment 2020. First basic condition, Siddharth Malya will say, no, I don't belong here because I have not stayed 182 or more days. So we'll take him to basic condition number 2, and we'll apply it only and only if he's an Indian citizen PIO having Indian income more than 15 lakhs. So guys, this amendment does not apply to really poor Indian citizens or persons of Indian origin who don't have Indian income. If in India you are rich, that means you have Indian income of more than 15 lakhs, then welcome to basic condition number 2. But it is a small difference. Instead of 60 days, it is 120 days. So in the previous year, if your stay is greater than or equal to 180 days, 120 days, plus in the last 4 years before the previous year, your stay in India was greater than or equal to 65 days. So this second part remains the same. The only change is instead of 60, we made it 120. And if Vijay Mallya or any other Indian citizen or PIO having Indian income more than 15 lakhs says yes to this condition, will you make him a resident? Yes, but only RNOR. So if he says yes, will he become a resident? Yes, but we only want to make him a resident and not ordinary resident, not a ROR. So let me recap this, guys. Earlier till now, second basic condition was not applicable to Indian citizen and PIO. Now it is applicable to only those Indian citizens and PIOs whose Indian income is more than 15 lakh, not greater than equal to, but greater than 15 lakh. Now in that case, the second basic condition will apply to them, but only thing is 60 days will be replaced by 120 days. And if fortunately for us, for India, if they say yes, we will bring them as an RNOR. And as you know, now as an RNOR, Siddharth Malya's foreign income, which he was controlling from India, can be taxed by India. That's the first basic condition. Sorry, that's the first amendment. Now let's move to the second amendment, guys. The second amendment has a separate section, but it's a very simple one. Let's talk about the second amendment. The second amendment has a different section called section 6(1)(a). 6(1), guys, section 6(1) is for residential status of individuals. They've added one more thing, so that's how you remember section 6(1)(a). A is for added. They've added one more thing. Let's see what they've added. Guys, this one, a lot of people were trying to smartly avoid becoming a resident in any country. What if you spend 50 days in India and then 50 days in Singapore and then 50 days in Australia and then 50 days in Malaysia and then 50 days in London or UK? That way, guys, you'll avoid becoming a resident in any country of the world and you're planning your taxes in a very smart manner. But India says that if you're an Indian citizen, not everyone, but only if you're an Indian citizen, having Indian income again greater than 15 lakhs, and you're not being taxed as a resident in any country of the world. You are being taxed in other countries, but not as a resident, then please, we would like to tax you. Because jiska koi nahi, uska India. If you are no one's, you are India's. So they say that if you're an Indian citizen having Indian income of greater than 15 lakhs, and you're not taxed anywhere in the world as a resident, then we would like to tax you. But don't worry, not as a resident and ordinary resident, but only as a resident and not ordinary resident. So let's differentiate, guys, between this one and the previous amendment. The previous amendment applied to Indian citizen and PIO both. This one only applies to Indian citizen. The previous amendment also applied to PIOs and Indian citizens having income greater than 15 lakh. Here also it applies to only Indian citizens having Indian income more than 15 lakh. There also the second basic condition was applicable, and if you say yes to the second basic condition, you become an RNOR. Here also, if you're not taxed as a resident in any part of the world, India would want to tax it again as an RNOR. So guys, these two amendments by the Finance Act 2020 are absolutely important. The intention of both these amendments, guys, the intention of both these amendments to bring to tax more people under the tax net who have income which India wants to tax. So just summarizing everything, how does it impact in your exam? First of all, keep an eye open for Indian citizens and person of Indian origin. And if they have Indian income of more than 15 lakh, then maybe the two amendments will apply. The first amendment says that if you're an Indian citizen or a PIO having Indian income of greater than 15 lakhs, then the second basic condition will apply. Only thing, change the 60 days to 120 days. And then if you say yes to that, then you're on RNOR. And second amendment, that is section 6(1)(a), one additional or one added, they say that if you're an Indian citizen having Indian income of more than 15 lakhs, then and if you're not being taxed anywhere in the world as a resident, then we would like to tax you. Jiska koi nahi, uska India, we would like to tax you as an RNOR. Guys, keep a watch out. This is very important for both May and November 21 exams. All the best.